So around a year ago I refitted an O2 sensor on my car. This is a brand new replacement O2 sensor. I believe it was exactly the same code, if that's visible, LS 17099, and the actual code is 0258 017 099. So we're going to replace the first O2 sensor. A year ago I replaced the second O2 sensor, which is in a far much more awkward position. This should be far much easier and quicker to replace, but we're still going to need to remove the engine cover and all the scuttle panels and cowling essentially. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to try and remove the O2 sensor and replace it with a brand new one. So first off, we remove these two panels on the left. There's two clips, the top and the bottom. Then an 8mm socket to remove the 6 bolts on top of the air filter bolts. And that just lifts off. There's a couple of clips on either side that you just need to dislodge with a screwdriver. That comes out. Onto there, that goes onto there, and then don't forget there's that there. So now the engine cover is off, we have better access, and that is the sensor that we're trying to remove, that threads all the way to the back and up and somewhere around here. The grey wire is the O2 sensor on bank 2 that was replaced a year ago, so I need to figure out that is the cord for the first O2 sensor, so I need to see where that threads through, because that is where the connector will go. I believe I need to remove this wire first. Now I don't think I have the correct O2 sensor because the cable is too short. This one goes from there and all the way around there to here to where this one is, and then all the way to here. So I think I need an O2 sensor with a far much longer cable. So the new O2 sensor has just arrived. I attempted to fit this O2 sensor a couple of days ago on Sunday, and it turned out that the cable was too short, so I've ordered this new O2 sensor. I'm just going to open now. Yeah, so it is a Bosch sensor, and the only difference really is one digit. So yeah, sometimes this doesn't quite focus, but the number is LS17099, and then the actual product number is 0258 017 099. This is exactly the same, except this is 098. So this is the sensor that goes into bank 2. So if you're looking at the engine this way, and you've got cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, you've got a sensor there and another one there. This sensor, the 099, is for the second position. This sensor is for the first position, and the difference is the length of the cable ultimately. So in fact, we'll just have a quick comparison. So this is all sealed, and all those scissors. So we'll just just open that. Except I didn't. Come on. How difficult can it be? So yeah, this is the O2 sensor. It's exactly the same, but the actual cable is much longer. So that's really the key difference in the sensors. That has a grey cable, that has a black cable, and yeah, this is, I'd say, twice as long as the grey one. I've probably not got enough room really to show you. That is the sensor for bank 1, the easy one really to replace. This shorter one is for bank 2, and this is far much harder to replace because it's in an awkward position and there's a couple of plates that you need to unscrew. And don't forget that this is a very useful tool, which is a lambda socket wrench. These are known as O2 sensors, also known as lambda sensors, and these work across all BMWs, so it's the same O2 sensor really for most of the BMWs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and also the Mini. So even though I ordered the wrong part, I should be able to reuse it in the future, because it is you know, used across the range. So we're just going to nip outside and replace the O2 sensor, the lambda sensor, on bank 1. So we're just going to have a quick look at the position of the second sensor. Is that the correct key? There we are. And just open the boot. There we are. So we're looking at this sensor here that goes left, and there's the second O2 sensor, which is over here, there under this plate, where that finger is. Yeah, so that's the bank 2. That was replaced around a year ago. We've got this far easier one, but if you look at this cable here, this goes all the way around the engine to the top. So these are the two cables for the O2 sensor. This is the one on bank 2, that's bank 1, and as you can see, bank 2 goes all the way to here, so you need quite a long cable. bank one ends just underneath here, so it's a much shorter cable, sorry. So it is right here, there. That is where bank 2 goes into, and bank 1 is a little bit further, it's over here. So we've just got to thread this all the way around the engine, down and through to where this O2 sensor is, right over here, there. And while we're replacing the O2 sensor on this BMW, I got caught out on Saturday. I took the other BMW out and the battery was a bit flat, and noticed this, which has to be dealt with as a matter of urgency. So there appears to be a leak, and this absolutely reeks. I'm absolutely petrified of what that is doing to the underside of the car in terms of rust. So I need to drain this really as a matter of urgency. I believe that the car battery went flat because this is the much smaller 70 amp battery for BMW 325i and 330i. I would highly recommend the longer 80 amp battery. You'll have far fewer incidents of the battery running flat or encountering the steering wheel lock that I encountered on Saturday, because there wasn't sufficient power to start the engine. But anyway, we're going to look at this BMW 325i now. There are a couple of steps really. The first is to unplug and loosen these clips where the wire threads into. You can see both of them thread in, and one's on the inner one, so I'm just going to dislodge that and that one there. Sorry for the sniffing there, just a bit of a runny nose. And that goes there, and this is going to be the tricky bit, just threading into there. But you can actually see it's relatively loose when it comes onto here. Let's see if I can just, okay, lovely, it's a clip there. Just open it and pull it out. So just let me blow my nose. So with the lambda socket tool, we just need to place that around the center. I'll need to stop recording just so I can use both hands. This is absolutely vital to do this work. So the socket wrench is in place, but I can barely move it. I suspect I'm going to have to move this coolant expansion tank. I think there's a little clip here that you lift, and there's a couple of 10 or 8mm socket screws, and then same thing here, there's a little clip that you pull up. So we're going to have to remove the coolant expansion tank to get access. I've been able to move the expansion tank out the way by just removing two 10mm socket screws there, so we've got a little bit more access now. In fact, let me just swing round, and place the socket wrench in place and try and turn. So, come on. Okay, so I think I'm going to need both hands. I have managed to dislodge the sensor using the lambda socket wrench. The trick is to get it into position like this, and then to use a hammer to tap it to loosen it, because it really is screwed tightly. So we're making progress. We can now remove the O2 sensor. So yes, just managed to pull the O2 sensor through, and here it is just before it gets unplugged. The plug is this one here. So I'll probably stop recording. I'm just trying to think, is there something obvious that's clipped onto there? Will that release it? So yeah, that's where it unplugs. Looking at the replacement sensor here, this is the one we're just about to place. You can see on this connector here, there's this wedge there, so I suspect I probably need to place this underneath there to wedge it out. So the trick is to screw the O2 sensor all the way in first, rather than clipping it there, threading it through, then trying to screw the O2 sensor in, because it's got to rotate several times. The wire ends up twisted, so you definitely need to connect this end first, then thread it through back to this connecting point. We have threaded this cable back to here. This definitely clicks back into place into there, and this connector definitely clicks in there, so you need to have 2 clicks, and obviously it's threaded all the way right round. It's into these little connecting points and all the way to here. We're just going to start the car to see if it still works and if the check engine light has been cleared. we have just removed the O2 sensor. That is the state of it, as we've already seen. Very mucky, with what looks to be corrosion, but really it's just use. And I've just cleared the code, so we're going to start the engine and see if the check engine light returns. And I'm just going to drive the car around the block, and hopefully that is the installation of the O2 sensor on bank 1 with no issues. So yeah, the car's kind of, what's going on there? It's kind of idling a bit crazy. But yeah, let's just give the car a quick drive. If you're enjoying the content on this channel, please be sure to like, comment and subscribe. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm.